Welcome to the first episode of What the Frick Reviews. My name is DJ, and I'm here with the future Miss Ryan Jeffers, because when she saw him fighting with the kangaroos, she went, "Kanga-woo!"
Oh my god. Well, my name's Katie, and that's all true. That's all I have to say. It's true.
Today we're going to review the 1997 classic to Katie's childhood, Warriors of Virtue, directed by Ronnie Yu of Freddy vs. Jason fame.
Yes. He comes with the facts. I'm just here.
Yeah, I'm the film student of our review pair, and you're just the accountant.
I'm just an accountant.
So the plot of the movie is about Ryan Jeffers, who is a 8 to 10-year-old, because I'm awful at guessing kids' ages, and
he's like 11, 12.
16, 17.
I mean, at the rate of this movie, it could have been.
And he has a lame leg, and he gets bullied for it because it's the 90s and they don't care about being sensitive. And he gets this book from his best friend, who is an adult man named Ming, who also owns a Chinese restaurant that he frequents.
Well, that's debatable. I thought a different guy owned it. Someone's yelling at him.
Yeah.
When did it say he owned it?
Wikipedia.
Okay. Damn Wikipedia. You know that you're not supposed to cite that in college, Wikipedia. We should have got a different source. We should have read the book.
There's books.
There's a book. Oh, there's books.
3.
There's books.
Yeah, so Ming either owns or doesn't own the restaurant. Either way, that's Ryan's only friend next to Chuck. Ming gives him the Book of Tao, which is apparently a real location here in this mythical world of the 90s, and he gets transported to the World of Tao, where there is 5 warriors to protect it, named the Warriors of Virtue, and for some reason they're all kangaroos that look like real people. And
they don't look like real people. They don't look real.
I'm sorry to my own family.
What?
And that's basically it. He goes on a bunch of adventures. Gerard Wade shows up, and then the movie ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Gerard Wade. It has an amazing open. It opens with a kung fu cooking session and then hard cut to American football.
Cooking session?
Yeah, you remember it opens and they're kicking pans and
no, that's not how it opens.
It's definitely
how it opens.
Oh my god, we're gonna talk about the first 3 minutes of the film.
If you're gonna say how it opens, say it right. Someone's holding some beads. Questionable.
Oh, Master Chung.
Yes, he's holding it and it breaks. And that's all I got. I don't remember what comes after that.
I watched this movie 2 days ago and I forgot about that.
Yeah. No, because this will come back later. You didn't see it reconnect? Oh my god.
Do you know what that is called? Remember your English class.
I don't need to remember.
It's called foreshadowing.
Okay, foreshadowing, whatever. I remembered it at least. Okay.
Yeah, well, I was too busy focusing on the sweet ass cooking montage.
Oh
and
my
then
god!
A hard cut to American football.
Oh,
the
you're right.
American
You're right.
Dream.
No, you're right. Because I'm looking at my notes and it's okay. So the intro, I said it feels like Star Wars or Toy Story 2 when they played the Buzz Light game. That's how it felt.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's a good assumption.
Yeah, no, because he's like, oh no, the dinosaurs playing the game.
Yeah, no, Rex. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. And then you're right. It does go straight into cooking. He's just sitting on the stairs watching him cook.
Yep, because Ryan has no friends. Rye guy, as I like to call him.
He has 2 friends, and he was watching one of them. So he was right. Amongst friends.
Yeah.
Or friend. And then my note was like, yeah, he was like kicking around doing stuff. The one thing that I really noticed, he like had a fish and he was like this in the flour, like with the fish, and then he's like kicking stuff around. I was like, if I had to cook next to that guy, I'd be fucking livid. Like he's just like, there's just flour going everywhere. Like it would be in my eyes. And then he used his foot to kick the faucet off.
Well, he was wearing shoes.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Hashtag no free foot pics.
Yeah, no free foot pics. But that's the thing. The shoes, what's on the bottom of your shoe, DJ? What's on the bottom of your shoes?
Flour.
Germs and flour. And so it was just like, health hazard, hello. But we think he's cool, right? He's cool, right?
I mean, could you do that? I rest my case. He's cool.
I mean, I could attempt, but I make no promises.
Yeah, so that's like the open, and then Ryan goes and talks to, gives a really good and effective football play.
Oh yeah, cut to the football scene.
To Brad.
The bully.
The bully, who looks like a 30-year-old.
He does. I was really questioning. So are they in the same grade, or they just know each other?
I think he's just an older kid.
Okay.
Which I don't understand why Ryan wants to hang out with a kid that's like 5 years older than him. And he also wants to date the girl that's 5 years older than him.
Yeah. So he like gives him the play that he should do, and the guy's like, yeah, whatever. And then he ends up doing it. And then they win the game. And then like the girl's cheering, and then Ryan's just staring at the girl like, and then he gets sad.
And then baby Katie was staring at Ryan.
Why isn't he looking at me? No, and the thing that I wrote when I was like, did he expect to get praise for this? Like, no one fucking heard him except for Brad.
Yeah, it didn't really make sense. And then Chuck, his other best friend, comes in and talks to him like he's like his wingman. Once again, they act all so much older than they actually are. He's like, don't worry, Ryan, they're just losers anyway. And I'm like,
you're not supposed to know that. Yeah. You're a kid.
Yeah. We forgot to mention that while this was directed by the dude that made Freddy vs. Jason, this was produced by 4 brothers who were just doctors. They don't have any filmmaking experience. They just had a thing for kangaroos and said, what if I could make them fight like karate? And somebody was dumb enough to finance this.
Me. I got you $1.
So let's skip ahead a little bit. We don't need to go through every play-by-play. We'll skip back to the restaurant.
I can't say my favorite line.
Oh, yeah, you can say your favorite line.
Did you say something or just fart?
That's what Brad said to Ryan when he was passing them.
It's so good. Like, why have I never thought of that? So simple, yet
ineffective.
So it's pretty effective. I said it to you earlier, and your wife laughed at you.
It's true. It is true. And it hurt more because she didn't realize that you were referencing this movie.
Yeah. So, boom, roasted.
So, Brad bullies him, and then he's like, hey, man, do you want to come hang out with me in the sewers? And he's like, I would fucking love nothing more than that, Brad. And
Chuck is like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Chuck is the only sane one here.
Yeah. I mean, the only sane one, truly, because why are we watching this movie?
Because it's amazing.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on.
So anyway, Ryan goes back to the Chinese restaurant because his mom is like showing a house, which, I mean, how real estate works, she would have been gone for like an hour, but whatever. I'm just going to ignore that. So he goes to the restaurant, and then Ming's like, hey, small child of mine, come to my private bedroom and let me wash up.
Did he say wash up?
He was like, I'm just freshening up back here. He was in the bathroom.
Kinky.
No, it's a child.
That's a child. Okay, fine. You're right. It's a little weird.
So then the grown adult tells him, hey, man, just because you have a lame leg doesn't mean you can't be lame. Look at this cocoon. Here's a book of Tao. And he's like, what's a book of Tao? He's like, I don't know. I'll tell you about it.
And he did.
Kind of.
Yeah. He's okay. So I wrote this down. Ming was like, this helped me become the person I wanted to be. And then Ryan fucking roasted him like, a cook? Like, dude, like, no chill. And then he said, no, myself. And he laughed. So he didn't take it personally, but I would have taken that personally.
Well, yeah, because you're too sensitive. And you shouldn't let a kid like Ryan roast you.
I let Ryan do whatever. When I was 10 and watching this movie.
So then they go to the sewer. And then Brad's like, hey, you disabled kid, walk across this pipe. And everybody's like, that's kind of rude. And
set the scene. There's water flowing. And then there's a pipe.
Whirlpool.
And then the pipe connects them to the other wall. And then the wall, there's a bunch of writing.
And they want Ryan to tag his name on it. And he's like, I can do it. And then Chuck says the best line of the movie, in my opinion.
What was it?
Come on, man. Let's make it like Tom. Oh, wait, shit. Make like Tom and let's cruise.
I didn't think that line was that great.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't. The fart line really stuck out to you, so.
Mama likes her fart jokes. Hi,
Mama. And then, naturally, Ryan cannot successfully get across it, and they
No. This is what stuck out to me is the girlfriend was like, you said he wasn't going to do it. And it was like, why are you there? Like, of course he's going to do it. But
It's
also.
the 90s.
It's the 90s, you're right. And then also, okay, so yeah, he's like going across and then they're like, just make sure you do it fast or else water can come out of here and drown you, right? And then the water comes and then he's like pushed off of the pole into the water. And my first thought was just like, and they're all stressed out. It's like, did you want him to succeed or not? Like, they're like upset that he's in the water because, yeah, it's scary. But then I'm like, did you want him to succeed? I don't think you did.
No, I don't think they had I don't think they had an opinion either way.
I don't think they thought it through. No.
Are you telling me that teenagers don't think through their actions? What did you do today, Brad? Oh, I killed a child.
That's true. Attempted murder.
Yeah. So then, this is that's like 20, 30 minutes of the film.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we get to Tao, and this is where it astonished me in the first viewing. Because I watched this movie a couple of months ago because Katie pestered me about it. And then the set design just blew me away. Tao is beautiful. It has a waterfall. There's lily pads. There's like a centaur thing or whatever the fuck. What's that thing? What's the dude with the horns? A minotaur?
There's someone with horns?
Yeah, he's like when
Sorry, I was just staring at Ryan.
Oh my god.
Right, anyway.
but like it's just such the lore of this movie is so intense for a movie that technically does have a sequel and I guess does have books, but like it's so intensively lore heavy that every single second I was like, oh.
I mean, it's great. I don't know what to tell you. I make a lot of movie recommendations to DJ, and I think this was maybe the first one you liked. So,
I think Frighteners was it.
Okay, this is the second one you liked.
So the moment he lands in the water, this is when we get our first little taste of a kanga. Yeah, and then you see his like tail flipping, and then you realize that this is a slapstick comedy, which honestly like really makes the film like genuinely good in my opinion. Is that they go full slapstick with the sound effects, like someone hits a tree and it's like boing.
Yeah, that's what I wrote. I was like, why is there so many boinks? Like,
it's the one thing that kept me there the entire time.
I was like, should I be laughing? Should I be worried?
And meanwhile, I'm like, I should be laughing harder.
Oh my god.
And then Ryan screams when he sees a kangaroo because they're fucking terrifying.
They are. That's why they look like people. No, they don't.
They try.
The only way they look like people is their haircuts because they have different haircuts.
They do. The fire one has my personal haircut. He has little curls.
The woman is bald.
The woman is fine. Bald. Most of them are bald. Actually, it's actually really only. Like, the main Kanga has hair, but then there's only one other distinct hairstyle, and it's the fire guy.
It's like the mohawk thing?
No, I think that's the main dude.
Oh, that's the main dude. Yeah. Okay.
It's 2 hairstyles, and everyone else is bald. So then Ryan screams when he sees the Kanga, and then Alicia appears. There's a woman all in white. She's like 20. That will be important later.
Yeah, she's like 20.
And then she fucking flies. She just flies. Like, they don't talk about it. They don't bring it up again. She's like, hey, Ryan, we got to go to Tao. He's like, okay. And they're like, wee.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, when she first comes up, it's like, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then he just trusts her.
Yeah.
Like, he just saw fucking kangaroos flying and then this woman flying and he's like, yeah.
Ryan has the confidence of a 30-year-old.
Yeah. I don't know. I
hormones of a 12-year-old.
What does that mean?
Just saw a woman. He was like, all right. This will get cut too.
Oh my god.
She flies off and then we're introduced to...
Wait, you missed the biggest part.
What's the biggest part of this scene?
He realizes he can run.
Oh yeah, he realizes that his leg is no longer lame.
Stop saying that.
It is... If you Google this movie...
No longer not working.
And then he like goes on a whole thing about how he wants to play football and like they add the sound effects of the crowd going wild.
Ryan Wild? I like it.
Yeah. And then they just call him newcomer for the rest of it. He's a newcomer. That's a big deal for them.
Yeah.
And they have no connection to the outside world, which I found kind of weird. Like he was like, cool. And then someone's like, the fuck? And he's like, it means like nice. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, cool doesn't exist in Tao.
I know, that's weird. There was a few things that were like that. And I was just like, because his backpack, he said backpack. And you're like, what's a backpack? And I was like, you don't have a backpack there?
You probably had a fox stealing them.
I didn't like that.
And then we are introduced to Komodo, the main villain, who I think looks like Gerard Wade.
He really does. Also, the more I watched in the movie, you know, the longer I watched the movie, I love him.
He is amazing. He is like the best part of the movie.
I know he's the villain, but like I just like him.
He's literally amazing. He is my favorite part about the movie, and I would watch an entire prequel movie about Komodo. Apparently, the actor who played Komodo, which I didn't look up his name, apparently just...
Angus.
Is it really?
I think. I think I remember because I looked up the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came off the Oscar-winning film Braveheart to play Komodo, which...
Wait, so he wasn't in Braveheart?
He was.
Oh, okay.
And he came off that Academy acclaimed movie to be the true Academy winning movie, Warriors of Virtue.
Amen.
And he did the best performance, and he deserved to be nodded about it.
Yeah, but I loved it. I don't know. I'm on his team.
So a lot of my notes just start getting like a little like I stopped just going play by play, and I just start making just random comments. A lot of slow mo in this movie.
Yeah, but it's also
bad slow mo.
Yeah, but is it okay? I feel like I was like confused in some parts because it was like slow mo, but then it looked like they replayed it, and then slow mo. Okay,
yeah,
so it wasn't going crazy.
Little film tangent that I'll be very brief on. They obviously filmed this at 24 frames per second and then slowed it down because it looks super awful. Like they didn't plan to shoot it to make it slow motion, and then they're like, "Oh shit, this would be cooler in slow motion." So they put it in post, and it's very obvious that they did that. A lot of slow downs and ramp ups, like Ryan is running really fast, like not as fast as a human should be, like faster than a human. They just sped up the footage a little bit. But I also think that was kind of the point. I think it was definitely emulating like those types of films. So it was like a stylistic choice. I don't think it was a bad thing. It was just a lot of slow motion for a lot of the movie.
It was interesting.
So now we're officially at the part of the movie that the roos are shown off.
Okay.
So introduce them.
Well, I just wanted to say... Okay, fine.
No. Say your thing.
I just wanted to say, like, he was obsessed with football, and then he sees these kangaroos, and he's like, Kung Fu this, Kung Fu that, and I was just like...
He was reading a Kung Fu comic book at the opening of the film. So fucking focused on the beads, and then you blacked out the
He was sitting on the toilet, okay?
But he wasn't using it either. I don't know why he was in the bathroom. He was just reading a comic
I don't know,
book.
but his dog brought him a waffle, and he got mad about that.
Piece of toast.
I thought it was a waffle.
It was a piece of toast.
I think it was a waffle. Definitely not blueberry, though.
Definitely not blueberry because it was a piece of toast.
Anyways, brought him food in general while he was sitting in the toilet, and he got mad at him. I was like, come on. That dog is a saint. I need something like that.
Occupado, doggo.
He didn't go through the door. He came through the window.
You're right. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what Ryan says. He was like, hey, man, I'm like, in here.
I'm busy, bro.
Yeah, but like, I completely agree that Ryan, for the first half of this film, is like, fuck yeah, love some football, love being a man, love having two legs. And then he like goes to Tao and he's like, I actually am a kung fu bitch.
Yeah, I was just confused. I was like, okay, you switched up real fast, but okay.
Something I definitely noted later on and made a realization, there is probably a 4-hour cut of this movie. It is pretty clear to me now that I've rewatched it, they cut a lot of content from this movie. Really? A lot of stuff was happening. I was like, I bet there was a scene that explained this, but they just decided it didn't need, which I agree. I don't think it is necessary, but I think there's definitely some scenes that there was an explainer scene and then it went to that scene and then they're like, fuck it, we don't need that part.
See, that's why we need, I mean, there is a part 2. Sorry to spoil it, but there is a sequel and I don't want to watch it because they replaced my man, but also because I just feel like it'll ruin it. But why'd you make that face?
Nothing. Okay. Go on.
Anyways, I just don't want to ruin it for me. Also, they ask him like, how are your parents? Or like, what are your parents like? And he's like, they're cool. They're nice. And it's just like, That's all you got to say about your parents?
Yeah.
Also, we never meet the dad. Where was the dad?
They don't know. I don't know. They act like he has like kind of absentee parents because they're so busy with work. She's like, I got a showing. I'm like, but a showing is like you just go to a fucking house, let somebody in, they walk around for 10 minutes, and then you get to go home. But she's like, I'm going to be gone for the rest of the night. I'm like, I think she's lying to you, Ryan.
Oh, shit. I need a part 2.
You just said you wouldn't watch it.
You know what? I need a part 2 on the mom and Komodo.
Komodo.
So. Oh, fuck. I'm your father. Oh, shit. He's the dad.
Oh, my God. Wattpad, watch out. I'm going to write a lot of Warriors of Virtue fanfic.
There's a line at the very end that kind of makes it seem maybe he is his dad. I wrote it down, too. We'll get there. Conspiracy? I think truth.
So now we can officially talk about the Kangas. The Roos with the Z.
Roo.
So can you introduce the 5 Warriors of Virtue?
I will try. So there's Yun, warrior of water and virtue of benevolence. Yi, warrior of metal. Why are you laughing? Yi. Warrior of metal and virtue of righteousness.
Also hates Jewish people, probably. He tweeted about it. You got it.
Yi. That guy, fuck that guy. But Yi, we stand.
Yi with 2 E's, not with 1 E. That's the difference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lay. I
bet it's lay.
Lay.
Because like Yi, lay.
How does Yi mean that that's lay?
Sounds similar.
Oh my God. Okay. Lay is the warrior of wood in virtue of order.
Chi.
And
like I know it's Chi because then they started later on in the film they start using Kung as to explain what a Chi is, and it's obvious because they use the word Kung, and I'm sure Kung is actually in some type of like I'm sure Kung is like actually a term for like kung fu and stuff like that, but it was pretty clear the way that they wrote it they couldn't use Chi because they were like, fuck, we named one of the characters Chi.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, Chi is the warrior of fire and virtue of wisdom. I thought it was sun, so the last one, sun. I want to say sun, but I thought I heard it differently at the very end. I don't know. Ryan said it. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That kangaroo is the girl kangaroo. Mm-hmm. And it is the warrior of earth and virtue of loyalty. But also, when they introduce her, I wrote this down because I thought it was redonkulous. Loyalty, kindness, nurturing. I mean, put me in a box, but Jesus Christ. Why couldn't that be one of the male ones, huh? And why is there only one? There's 5. And there's 1 woman.
It's the 90s. At least there's 1.
Amen. I'll take what I can get.
And she wasn't like, even though her virtues were like obviously pretty boxy in that term, she didn't like act. She wasn't like the mother Kanga. She was definitely one of the guys.
Well, yeah, but everyone else had swords and she has fucking flowers. She just shoots out flowers.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool.
You know what? I would take that.
Mm-hmm. So those are the 5 Kangas.
Yes.
And then it's just like the big plot once they're in Tao is that the leader of them, the guy who is Yun, is in exile, self-exile because he killed a dude in battle. And then Ryan's like, who the fuck cares? And they're like, you should care, Ryan. He's like, I'm like 12, man. I barely understand the concept of death at this stage.
Yeah, I thought I had wrote that down. Oh, he said, so it's a battle. People die. And I was like, okay, whoa.
Yeah.
First of all, it's more than that. Obviously, and then what is it? Alicia, she gets very upset. She's like, it was a person.
Well, because it was her brother.
Well, he doesn't know that yet.
Oh, no. I spoiled a 25-year-old movie.
You did. Anyway, yeah, the person who died was her brother. So, yeah, but Ryan doesn't know that till the end of the movie. So he's just like, who cares? And then after that happens, he's kidnapped.
Yep.
By
or like one of the first of many times.
Yeah, he's kidnapped so many times. My poor man. I mean,
you should want better for yourself.
I'm just so low. Yeah, you're right. Anyways, he's kidnapped and then Yun saves him. So he comes out of nowhere.
For the second time, because he saves him when he first gets to Tao.
Yeah. And then, but that's also the thing that I was like, okay, I feel like they were saying they've been trying to find him and they can't find him. And this bitch has seen him twice and he's been there for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. But also it was so funny because he's talking to him and and then Yun is like, you don't understand. And then pounces his foot on the ground and leaves. And then Ryan.
I wrote this down too.
Yeah, Ryan says, you're a wimp, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes back down and then he goes and meets the other kangaroos and he's like, what is he? The storyteller? What is he? What did they call him?
Ryan, the newcomer.
The newcomer helped me realize. I was like, he called you a fucking wimp.
Yeah.
That's what it took?
Like, you said the wimp, blah, 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 blah. No. Ryan literally said, you're a wimp. And then Yun's like, you bitch.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. I'm back in.
Yeah.
That's
you got
all
me.
he needed. Yeah, like, you got me. That's why I kind of felt like there was a lot more content on the cutting room floor. When are we going to get Warriors of Virtue 4-hour cut? Ronnie, where are you?
Yeah. Where are you? Yeah, that's what I noticed. I just loved it. You don't understand.
And we're like 43 minutes into the film, so we're at the halfway point, and Ryan is just fucking bodying every single adult around him like he owns the place.
Yeah. Before that, so the kangaroos are trying, before he even got kidnapped, they're like, "Where's the book of Tao?"
The book that Ming gave him, because we didn't say that at the beginning, but Ming, his second best friend, gives him a book in his private quarters above a Chinese restaurant, and then Ryan takes it to Tao with him. Yeah,
and it's in his backpack, which his backpack was stolen when they first kidnapped him.
Yes.
So now Komodo has it, but he can't read it because Ryan's the only person who can read it.
Yeah, the Black Parade really blinds Komodo.
Yeah, you're right. But okay, so there's the kangaroos, but we didn't even mention they have like a master. What is his name?
Chung.
Master Chung. And so
I mentioned him at the very beginning.
Okay, you mentioned him. Okay, anyways, Master Chung, Ryan gets super close to him and he's like, I'll give you the book of Tao if you show me Kung Fu or the kangaroos. And it's just like, okay, interesting. And he fucking lied. He didn't have the book.
He did not have the book. I did think about that. I was like, Ryan's really just like owning all of these people in Tao.
He's like, you need me. I don't need you.
And then and then after this, when Yun comes back, we go back to Komodo, and this is my favorite Komodo line. Right before the scene ends, he asks the general to come up to him, and he says, "Does purple suit me?" And then he's like, "It does." And then he says, "Then you may be dismissed." And I was like, "What a villain! What a guy! Love him."
It's an important question. Yeah. He was wearing purple, though.
And he looked amazing. It did fit him.
I mean, it was pretty great.
Komodo can do no wrong. He's amazing. He's the best villain. No villain can ever top Komodo.
Well, I kind of liked how he was like, do not think thoughts, let them mess up. Like, they were doubting. And I was like, I can use this in my personal life. Don't think thoughts, let my bosses mess up. Let
Your
other
bosses?
people. Don't think thoughts. Don't be angry that they asked you to do this one thing. Just do it. Oh, so Komodo, he has the manuscript, but he can't read it. And so that's why he wants Ryan, the newcomer. He wants him to read it for him. But he said that he needs it because he needs the manuscript to go to a new world. I don't know what that means, but Earth. He wants to go to Earth?
Yeah, he wants to go to where Ryan is so he can take it over.
He can't take that over. There's no...
He doesn't know that. He's a villain.
He's dumb. Anyways,
he's hot and dumb. Sue me.
Where do you come into this? He's been feeding on life springs, which is kind of like little towns, I guess, around them. You could kind of equate it to. So there's one life spring left, but he's feeding on those because, like, he drinks it or whatever, so that he stays young and powerful or whatever. And so he needs to go to the new world because once the last spring is gone, he can't survive. So, and he called Ryan the teller of tales. Also, a funny line that one of the kangaroos said was, "Patience is not my virtue." That one was good.
Also, his name is Komodo.
Oh my god.
I thought I had it wrong because you had written it down, but I did go on the Wikipedia. It's Komodo, not kimono.
How many times have I said that?
I just noticed it.
Wait, I swear. Okay, I wrote it just wrong in that one.
You were right. His name is Angus.
So
I
don't know how I remember that, but whatever.
So you're right. We have the live spring. Komodo is hanging around. We're about an hour into this movie, which now that we're recapping it, not a lot happens in this movie, but it's like bam, bam, bam,
yeah,
bam.
There's a lot of little things, and then we see Alicia, the girl in white from the beginning
that can fly.
She
never gets brought up again.
Her flying?
Yes,
I know, but
if you could fly, would you ever walk? At a principle. If you could be the only person to fly, would you ever walk?
I mean, I don't want to be a show off, but
I would never walk ever again.
I mean, well, it depends. How far am I flying?
To the remote. If my feet are touching the ground, I'm not having a good day. You know what I mean?
To the remote, you bitch. Well, in this next scene, we see that Alicia is with Komodo.
Yep.
Like, she's drinking the life spring as well. So
Yep.
she's not good like we thought she was. So
because Yun killed her brother.
Yes.
And I want to make an aside. This weird thing keeps happening in the movie. So you have Brad, the 30-year-old, and his 30-year-old girlfriend. And Ryan wants to be with her. And then we go to Ming putting a young child in his room alone. Second flag. And now we have Alicia, who is flirting with Ryan at the beginning. And you're like, oh, Alicia is like maybe 14. You don't think the age gap. And then she makes out with Komodo in this scene. And you're like, wait, if she's old enough to be with Komodo, that means she's at least 18? And then that means she's hitting on a 12-year-old.
Hey, we don't know the rules of Tao.
Oh, no, I know the rules of every rule.
Of every rule?
Every rule.
I know the rules of the rules.
So Alicia is obviously 20 or something because she does make out a little bit with Komodo, like a very weird, like Komodo kind of drags his tongue against her cheek.
Casual.
Yeah. So like either he's a creep, which he could be because he is a villain, but I can't handle Komodo slander on my
No,
life.
we won't stand that.
So she's the creep. And then like we're building up to the finale. We have the life spring. Nobody can read the manuscript. Komodo's just looking fucking fine as hell.
As he does.
Yes. We're an hour into the movie. We have 40 minutes left. It's wrapping up. We're getting up. One thing that we do brush over too much is the choreography of this movie needs to be talked about. It is amazing.
Choreography? There's no dancing.
It's just a blanket term for any time that are you making a joke? Or are you serious?
When you first said it, I was like, who the fuck dance?
Fighting is a form of dancing. One of them just doesn't come up at the end. Because you kill them.
Oh.
It's a battle. People die.
Yeah. People are going to die. It's like Vanessa Hudgens. But is it inevitable? Okay, bitch.
We here at What the Frick Reviews do not stand Vanessa Hudgens. So,
we don't.
I mean, if she wants to be on the podcast, please.
No.
You're going to say no to Hudgies?
Yep.
Huggies?
I will say no to her. I will say yes.
Good thing I control the email account.
They don't need to know that. I would say yes to Ashley Tisdale, though.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Yes.
Sharpay
all the way. That bitch worked hard, and no one gave her any credit.
Yeah, when you rewatch High School Musical, you realize that Troy and Gabrielle are the villains of the movie.
They're annoying.
Yeah. So the choreography of this movie is really good. The fighting is super well done. It like the animatronics in the full bodysuit of the kangaroos is obviously whoever did it. And I feel bad I didn't look up his name because it basically ruined his career. And I will explain in a second.
Oh no.
It's not bad, but
it ruined his
career.
career.
I will blame the brothers for this. The four brothers that wanted this movie made.
I thought we liked the brothers. I can't keep up with who we like.
I didn't say I liked them. Anyway, the guy that made the suits and the animatronics obviously is very talented. They were full-bodied. The fighting was, while ridiculous that they're kangaroos, they cared about it. They didn't make it look dumb. They wanted this to be a genuine kung fu action flick, and they fucking succeeded. We can joke about this movie, but it is a well-done movie. There is passion behind this fucking project, and I will always commend people that give a shit. So now the aside of why it ruined his career.
Oh, yes.
He basically went to Beijing for like 5 months to build these animatronics, and he was like, I was just alone for 5 months building these with people, and then people just forgot who I was when I came back to Hollywood, so I didn't really have anything to work on.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Was it worth it?
No.
Not even. We got this movie, DJ. Was it worth it?
Oh, yes. If we didn't make this movie, would we have a podcast? Yes.
People's careers are gonna die.
It's Hollywood. People die.
Yeah.
So we're at 57. I wrote down really great song, slow motion build up. Chung gets killed. No, this isn't that part. Chung says, listen to your heart. Sorry. Chung says, listen to your heart to the general, and nothing happens. It doesn't fucking change anything. You think it's going to pivot for the general and be an arc? No, it doesn't get brought up again.
No.
The general just, like, at the end of the movie, he's just like, oh, yeah, I just don't want to be bad anymore. Nothing to do with that guy. I just made that decision myself.
Yeah, I thought there would be like a little more backstory. I'm like, they know each other, so like they know each other.
Everyone knows each other, and it's clear by the writing that they all know each other. But the movie doesn't show any of that.
Yeah, no, I would like a flashback or something. So Master Chung tells him that if he gets the manuscript and reads it and whatnot, like that's his key to get home.
Yes.
And that's when we find out that.
And that's why Komodo wants Ryan to read it, because Komodo would get to Earth.
Yeah, that's also what. Yeah, and
yeah,
so
that's why I was confused
key.
why you didn't know what the other world was, because.
Well, I was like, this is Tao. I'm like, is there another world?
Yeah, Earth.
Another world.
The moon.
Okay. I mean, maybe he wants to go to the moon. He's fucking weird. But we respect him.
Where Komodo stands here.
Yeah. He has a sword, though. And I wrote, what a bitch, because Master Chung didn't have any weapons.
He didn't, yeah.
And this guy brings out a sword. Like, okay.
Out of nowhere, too. He just, like, pulls it out of his cloak. And he's like, I've had a sword this entire time.
I don't like, didn't that hurt? Wouldn't it poke him or something?
We stand a man that can stick it up there.
I don't know where it was, but I know it came out.
All I know is that he got past TSA, if you know what I mean.
Hey. A man of many talents.
So the Kangas get kidnapped, and then they get dropped down this little shaft. You know, the Komodos do
Wait.
Oh, my God. What do we got to talk about?
Komodo kills
Chung.
Master Chung,
yes.
And he's asking him, how can he be free?
Oh, yeah. This is actually, you know what? I appreciate that you came. This was actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
And then Master Chung was like, you have to look into your heart. And Komodo's not having any of that shit.
Komodo specifically says, I live in hell constantly. How can I be free of this? And then a dying Chung says, it is up to you to be free of that. And I'm like, where is the virtue? I am a mentally unstable 26-year-old, and I spoke to that.
Yeah, I was like, he's speaking to my soul.
That's where this movie like randomly like stops, and you're like, oh wow, there's like I've said it before, there is passion in this film. The people that made this film cared about this film.
There's virtue in this film.
There's warriors in this film.
There's kangaroos in this film.
I was gonna say there's ofs of this warriors of virtue.
Okay.
Chung is dead.
Chung is dead. They kidnap Ryan
Again. For like the fourth time.
Yeah, and then Alicia's there, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" Blah blah blah. And then now he finds out that Yun killed Alicia's brother, and he's like, "I don't believe you." Blah blah blah. And yeah.
This scene where Alicia unveils that her brother died, which we don't get any context. We just know he's dead. We don't know if the brother was a villain. We don't know if he was an innocent bystander. We don't know if he was like fighting with Yun. He's just got killed. We don't even know if, like, they say it's by accident, but we don't even know his death. We just know that Yun killed him, and we do not know how.
Yeah, I think definitely more context is needed. Also, I like the part where Komodo is like talking to Ryan. He said, and I am proud to be your destiny. Was he gonna like take over Ryan's body?
No, he was saying that Ryan should become him because he is like Ryan.
Oh, so like he stay, and then like would he take his place?
No. Like it's one of those lines in a movie where Komodo is like, join me because we're similar. We both have issues.
Because I'm your father.
Probably. Yeah, essentially. I mean, like you said, it's like Toy Story 2.
It is. It really is.
But this is one of my favorite scenes because of Ryan Jeffers, the way that he... You didn't want to get a second take, Ronnie? He doesn't look scared. He looks like...
They ran out of room on the fucking camera. They couldn't do another take.
Shooting on fucking film. They're like, sorry, man, that's all we got. Do you see how big this fucking set is, you asshole?
I know. And so then Komodo's getting him to read the book, and he's flipping through the pages, and it's empty.
Uh-huh.
And you want to know what Ryan tells him? What does the book say?
Shit happens.
Shit happens.
What a boss.
And they're like, shit happens? Like, contemplating? You're like, yeah, shit happens.
So Ryan says shit happens.
Ryan says shit happens, and then Komodo tries to kill him or whatever, and then Alicia protects him. But then this character that we have not mentioned at all because she was barely in it, she's like a cat woman or whatever.
Oh, yes, with the cat claws.
She had cat claws. She kills Alicia. She's like, no one messes with my master.
No one touches my master.
And then Komodo's mad, reasonably, because that was his make-out partner. So
yeah, make-out, tongue on cheek. But don't yuck someone else's yum.
Yuck.
Right, Katie?
Yuck. And so Alicia's dead. Then he starts leaving. He has the book. He's
running through like this is like the first time I watched it I didn't notice it, but this time I noticed this was his football scene. It was like coming back to he was doing ducking and diving.
I did not realize that.
And then the Minotaur dude showed up.
That's the guy you were talking about?
He's in the beginning. He's been in the film the entire time. When Yun comes back, he's on the bridge.
He's like Yun's here. Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I just didn't remember him from the beginning.
Yeah,
but
this
fight
is
scene.
Another scene where Ryan looks at that dude and another dude. By the way, amazing makeup, costuming. They're very well done. They do look very well done.
Reminds me of the Labyrinth.
Yes, it does. And like in a good way.
Yeah.
And then Ryan's like, do the thing. And then they do a thing. And I'm like, when did Ryan get a code with him?
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever they technically were babysitting him, but Ryan was in a different room.
Yeah.
So like I said, I've realized that there is content on the floor.
Yeah. I was just usually when I watch a movie I don't understand. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
I didn't notice it the first time I watched it, but this time I'm like, yeah, there's definitely context that this film probably shot. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass and they were just like, it's fucking fine. It's a movie about kung fu kangaroos.
What more do you want?
Some little kid named Katie is gonna love this fucking movie.
And I did. I'm Katie.
So Ryan gets out and we go from shit happens, cocky 30-year-old Ryan to
I
want to go home. I don't want to see death, even though Alicia's like, he killed someone. And he's like, fucking grow up.
Yeah.
And
people are gonna die. Is it inevitable?
But I do I do like the line because like no kids film really acknowledges the weight of basically PTSD on these children that have never had to deal with this before. Ryan led a cushy life and then just led a war basically. So I did appreciate that they kind of did stop the film and let him deal with that, even though it's kind of out of Ryan's character. Okay, so Mudflap comes in. What's his name?
It's Mudlap.
Oh, Mudlap.
Okay, so Mudflap comes in and he gives him his watch back because Ryan had given it to him. Well, you don't need to know. Anyways, but he's like, the kangaroos are waiting for you. And then he immediately stops crying and then runs over there.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
I mean, you can count on him, but also, I guess he's not that emotional.
Yeah.
And then the kangaroos are fighting Komodo.
We're at 20 minutes left in the film, and this is a very awesome part about the movie.
No, I was so confused. I was like, okay, he has powers, whatever. He's been able to do stuff. Why is there 5 of him?
Because he split into 5 people.
But who
Alicia
said he could do
fucking
that?
flies, and they don't bring it up again. I can accept that Komodo, the man of the hour, can split into 5.
I could not accept it. And then also I was like, why are they all solid? Because in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2.
Uh-huh.
That's the one, right? The evil villain guy, there's multiple of them, but you can move through them.
Usually how it works is that they can move, but Komodo's just so fucking strong. And this is a badass scene. You get to see all the kangas fighting. You see a little bit blood for the first time in the movie because you don't really see blood a lot because it's like PG.
It just looked like lipstick.
Yeah, I mean, kangas don't bleed, and that's why they're so strong.
That's why they're strong?
They don't bleed. Wouldn't you be strong if you didn't bleed?
I don't think it's correlated.
There's nothing stopping you.
Okay.
So, and at one, I marked the specific time because I like this. I'm always a big fan of really cool.
1 hour and 23 minutes?
1 hour and 24 minutes. What'd you write at 1 hour and 23 minutes?
Komodo was like, then I will be your voice.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was a random sound. I was like, was that supposed to be a kangaroo?
I think he was just yelling.
It was like,
I think Komodo's just fucking insane.
Yeah. Respect.
That's why I love him so much. It's like the actor read the script and he was like, fuck it. I'm 1,000% into this fucking movie. And
Dude,
I can
great.
respect that commitment.
Dude, I just loved the dynamic,
Yeah.
crazy, insane, and funny.
Yeah.
Right? I have to mention this. Komodo, there's a part where he's pulling on one of the kangaroo's tails and it made me fucking uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. He was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And you're like, that seems weird.
Don't touch its butt.
It did make me think of the Incredibles scene where Agne's like, no capes.
How does that make you think of that?
Because if you had a cape, he would do the same thing. But because he had a tail, he could do it.
Oh.
So she's like, no tails.
But what is...
I just peaked my own audio.
What is a roo without its tail?
A bitch. A wimp, excuse me.
Yeah, a wimp.
Yeah. A lot of Dutch angles in this movie. Do you know what a Dutch angle is?
No.
Alyssa loves this because I always say this. A Dutch angle in a movie is when you have a level playing, always horizontal. Mm-hmm. A Dutch angle is when the camera goes like this, and it's supposed to make you feel uneasy. So whenever you're watching a movie and it goes like that and it's on its side, it's askewed, it's supposed to make you feel uneasy. And boy, does this movie go like, wee! Do you feel uneasy? Like, I specifically wrote this because at some point it's a complete close-up on Yun's face. And it's not horizontal and it's not slightly askewed. It's almost like 280 degrees. It's not this way. It's just like this. And I'm like, why is he so crooked? And why is it so close to his goddamn beady little eyes?
No,
you're going to notice it now.
I'm
you
gonna
will all notice it now at home.
I'll notice it now.
Alyssa hates it. My wife hates it. Because every time I see it in a movie, I say, oh, look, a Dutch angle. I'm supposed to feel uneasy right now. So there's a lot of Dutch angles, a lot of slow motion, some cool panning shots, a lot of dollying in. The camera's constantly moving. And as a film school bitch, I can always appreciate a moving camera.
Yes.
Hello, stationary camera.
I'm moving.
Well, yeah.
Do what you were going to do.
They win the battle, obviously.
Well, you forget.
Oh, my God.
They put their medallions together.
Oh, yeah.
When the fuck did they get these medallions?
They've always had them on, but they definitely never talked about
Okay,
them.
they put the medallions together, and then all of a sudden it sucks Komodo in and whatnot. And it reminded me of the movie Mystery Man. Have you ever watched that?
No.
Okay.
This does remind me how fucked up that scene is. Like,
Why?
he gets burned alive, then he gets hit with water, so he gets... Like, basically all the elements...
When did the water come?
It was in there.
Oh.
If you looked close enough, because it's really bad CGI, it's like all of their things attacking him at once. So he's burned, he's hit with wood, metal, water, all of that's just hitting him, and then he disappears for like a minute.
Yeah, for a minute.
Yeah.
My man had to come back.
Of course.
And then he comes back, and he has amnesia.
Yeah.
Where am I? I just want to go home.
You are home.
You are home. And then the life spring lightens up and everything
is raining.
And
I made a note specifically. They show the rain and all the kangas are like, it's raining. And I'm like, but it should be raining on y'all. But because those are really expensive animatronics, they didn't let them get wet. Ryan kills himself.
Oh, he died.
Yeah, he does die. He
In a way.
He has to sacrifice himself so all the virtues can go into one, and then he's back alive, but they don't explain why that allowed him to come back alive. He had to sacrifice himself, and then he didn't.
Yeah, and then Yi talked, which we didn't even mention this. Yi doesn't talk. Yi talks, and I wrote, what a bitch. Like, now you talk? Like, obviously.
It was something stupid.
Thank you?
Oh, yeah.
Was it thank you?
Oh, my God. So Ryan gets killed, comes back, and they're like, all right, Ryan, go back to Earth.
So they put the Book of Tao on him, and he's like... And then he goes back
before he walks on
the metal
thing.
And then what is that? Brad is like, come on and cross over, blah blah. And then he ends up throwing the spray paint thing in the water. He litters.
Yep.
I don't condone that, but I still love him anyway. So don't worry, he's like 30 now, so we're fine.
Okay.
Still hot. Anyways, so he throws the bottle in the water, litters, whatever, and then so that little part where the water comes out, it comes out.
Yep.
While Brad is still on the other side, and it breaks
the path.
The path. So now he's stuck over there.
To which Chuck says to Ryan, "Should we call the cops?
Should we call 911?"
Genuinely
and he's
asking.
Like, yeah.
Probably. And I'm like, what do you mean probably? What, are you going to kill Brad now too?
Every man for himself. Hey,
People
Brad
die.
Killed him.
People die. It's a battle.
It's a battle. People are going to die.
Until I decide it's not a battle and I want to be a little bitch.
Anyway. Okay, well, yeah. And then it just goes to him laying in bed.
Yeah, his mom comes home and she says, how was your night?
After coming home from being a whore.
With Komodo.
Where's
that scene?
I know. I need that scene. I mean.
And to which Ryan says, virtuous.
You didn't say what the mom said.
I know I said it. She said it. She came
home and you didn't say that. She asked, how was your day?
Oh, so the mom comes home. The mom comes home.
You're like, virtuous.
Yeah.
You really thought he ate.
The mom comes home and Ryan is laying down and he's in bed. It's like 6.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's in home. The mom comes home after, clubbing, and she sits next to Ryan, who's laying in his bed, and she's like, how was your night? And he looks at her and says, virtuous. Because even though you say it's warriors of virtue, and you brought up all the virtues, which I didn't actually note, a big thing that Mudslap Mudlap?
Yeah.
Mudlap says...
Mudlap. Potato.
The main thing that Mudlap says is virtue be with you. That's his big... That's like their way... Like, if you've ever been to Galaxy's Edge, it's like bright suns. It's like their thing to say good morning.
Goontog.
Only one says it. It's only him. It's only Mudslap.
No, I think other people said it.
Was it you at the TV?
Yes. Yeah, and so virtuous.
Yeah, and Ryan says virtuous, and then a cocoon appears because I guess Minx broke into his fucking room and put a cocoon.
Gave him a cocoon.
Yeah.
And then the dog is like sniffing the cocoon, and then there's a note. What does the note say?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Anyways,
it's literally about like be yourself, grow up, don't do drugs, or do. You probably need to after what you saw.
What I noticed was then he turns to his dog and actually shows him affection. This whole movie, they were like, this dumb dog. And then now he likes his dog. I'm like, thank God.
By the way, this whole movie, meaning the dog was in one scene.
Two scenes. The beginning and the end.
We're like, yeah, exactly.
We'll give him some love. He's a dog.
He also didn't really give him love. He was like, I got a story to tell you.
Yeah.
And then that's the movie.
And then that's it. And so also, I wanted more of Chuck.
Yeah,
I need more
Chuck was
of Chuck.
Great. Chuck was an amazing... That was the best friend that's only in the movie for a short amount of time, and every single line was a zinger.
Yes. And then Komodo. I kind of wish he would have made it to Earth. That would have been cool.
That could have been what the sequel's about.
What if, like, at the end... His dad walks into the room and it's Komodo. Fuck. How did you not recognize him?
What is it, like Wizard of Oz? You were there? And you were there? You weren't there because I fucking hate you, Billy.
Yeah.
So Katie recommended this to me when we started being friends about like a year and a half ago. That was like the first thing. She was like, are you eating chicken pot pie? You should watch this fucking movie about kangaroos.
No. First line I did say to you is that chicken pot pie?
While I was very obviously eating chicken pot pie.
It smelled like chicken pot pie.
And it looked like chicken pot pie.
I didn't see it.
And we started swapping movie picks. And Katie would not stop ranting about this movie. And then I slowly let her realize by telling her that she loves kung fu films and karate films.
Beverly Hills Ninjas is next.
3 Ninjas.
3 Ninjas. What else? Heavyweights has some karate in it, maybe, possibly.
Surfer Ninjas.
Ninjas, that's a solid movie. Rob Schneider's in it. And he doesn't look short.
That's a solid movie. Rob Schneider's in it. That doesn't...
You're right, he had orange hair, too.
Really? All right. Okay. I'm back in.
Shucks.
Then I finally caved a few months ago, and I sat down and watched this movie.
Guess what? You liked it.
Genuinely surprised. It is a great movie.
Yes.
We are going to be rating all of our reviews on a frick no and a frick yes scale. Yes. And that's it because numbers are stupid.
You don't know numbers.
I don't. You're the accountant, not me.
I know some of these words.
I know some of these words.
Yeah. I would say freak yes.
Frick yes.
Oh, frick yes.
100%. This is if I saw this movie as a kid, I would be the exact same boat as Katie. Maybe not as creepily on Ryan. 100% on Komodo.
Okay, well, let's look at him now. He's a handsome guy. I think he lives in San Francisco. I Googled him one time. Doesn't make movies, but he's also in one of my other favorite movies from being a kid, Under Wraps. Disney is remaking them, and I fucking hate it because it will never be the same.
They remade them. They're not remaking them.
Yeah, whatever.
There's 2 of them. Is there even a sequel to the original?
No.
Oh.
There should have been.
Did you watch the sequel?
No. Not yet. I don't want to, but, you know.
He's still pretty attractive.
Amen, brother.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, my God.
Give me that. The hair.
So this is a clear frick yes of a review. Yes. We recommend that you go out. It is on a free streaming platform called Tubi. It's free. It just has ads, and I would recommend it. It's just like a.
It has ads, but I didn't get any ads during this movie. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, I didn't get any ads.
Yeah, it's just like great action, funny lines that probably weren't intentionally supposed to be funny, but they just have that age about them.
Yeah.
And I watched this a couple months ago and rewatched it on Monday, and I did not regret rewatching. I was like, this is still a bomb-ass movie. Mm-hmm. It is a good way to start a Saturday night.
Yeah, so Katie's always right. Even when she's wrong. She's right. I'm Katie.
So we will be releasing these every 2 weeks. We might at some point bump this up to a weekly podcast. But since it's December... and 'tis the season. The next movie in 2 weeks will be Scrooged.
One of my other favorite movies. Bill Murray is my guy.
Yep. Even though
Don't talk about it.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
Scrooge is probably going to be the most well-known movie that we watch in a while. A lot of our picks for the future of this will be a lot of stuff that Katie watched as a child, and then every so often we'll sprinkle in some stuff from my childhood.
Yeah, and then the week after that will be The Pest.
No.
Solid movie.
No. If you guys have a suggestion, feel free to drop it in the comments. Make sure to like, follow, 5 stars, all of this. Unlike the movies, we will be getting better.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
Stay virtuous, my friends.
Stay virtuous, my dudes.